Welcome to our 800-pound podcast, a podcast where three big guys talk about big topics. Today, in retrospect, we're going to talk a little bit about the year past, the new year, resolutions, predictions about this upcoming year, and some predictions for where we see them going. We're joined by Pritch and Shadow as always, and right off the bat, we will start with resolutions, the common resolutions, and why they fail. So you're working out and all that stuff. So we will be discussing that. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think probably one of the most common for sure has to be like losing weight, exercising, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Always seems to be a main one.
that's the first one that comes to mind,
Yeah.
especially in America where most of us are overweight.
Yeah, there's a reason that we are. The reason that we're the most obese country is that nobody will go with their resolutions. That's the reason why. It has nothing to do with food. Just nobody will follow
Yeah,
through with their
no, yeah,
resolutions.
no, yeah. Their New Year's resolutions are the problem. Let's blame
Yeah.
those.
If people would just follow through with their resolutions, we wouldn't have to worry about being obese. We could eat all the bad food we wanted for the whole year.
Well, on that, why do people not follow through with the resolutions?
I mean, for me personally, I'll tell you why. Like, I don't make a weight loss resolution because right now the cost of healthy food is crazy for me.
It's brutal.
I never understood that. Like, America wants you to be healthy, eat smarter, and then they like double the cost of what it costs to eat crappy food.
Yeah.
Like, and then they raise the prices, with inflation and all that stuff on everything. So how are we supposed to eat smarter and eat healthier when everything costs twice as much to eat healthy, when I can go out and get a freaking one pizza for the cost that it takes me to get like
Mhm.
what it costs for like one leaf of lettuce.
Yeah, dude. Like a one pizza, that's my go-to. Like, I don't feel like cooking meal because I mean, like $5 to $8, and you're gonna be pretty full afterwards. But,
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to that is the fact that for me, I find a lot of the time it is cheaper to cook a full meal because I can eat it for longer than fast food because fast food is very expensive if I want to be actually full. Like
oh yeah,
one pizza is good, but we're talking like McDonald's or whatever, McDoubles, whatever. Like, I'm not eating enough food at a reasonable price, but
I mean, you eat the
still,
healthiest by far, though. So, like, you probably eat
wow.
the healthiest of everybody.
I'm about to eat a lot healthier, which, if you catch my drift,
Because of sports and all that stuff. I'm sure
no,
that
because of
the wedding.
wife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's gotta
yeah,
look
that's
good.
right.
but anyways, it'll come
Yeah,
up.
I kind of towards the beginning of last year, I tried doing meal prep as much as I could. That's something that I found kind of helps me save money quite a bit. I buy a lot of rice, buy like a 20-pound bag of that, and that goes into meal prep with like a meat and then
Yeah.
whatever, and
Mhm.
some veggies, which is typically just green beans because that's about the only one I like. But
Yeah, that's the only way you can really combat it is by buying in bulk.
right,
Like, just
Yeah.
buy in bulk and hope that it lasts for a while. Unfortunately, like, I eat so much that even if I buy in bulk, it never lasts me because I get hungry so often.
right. I'll buy
You
like
know,
5 pounds of chicken and a good helping of rice will usually get me through a week for meal prep. But I I don't know how it is in Canada, but beef is incredibly expensive in America right now. It's like
beef is so expensive. Well,
Insanely
it's
expensive.
weird because I live in Saskatchewan, and beef there is just ridiculously expensive. But then, like, I get back out here to BC where cost of living is super high, and beef is cheaper for some reason. So I don't know, but yes, it is very expensive.
yeah,
So
it's like
expensive here.
$6 a pound for ground beef, which
Yeah.
is just crazy.
Well, usually I don't know. Usually I pay more because Canadian dollarinis, but usually my packs of ground beef are like $8 to $10 for just the small pack.
Yeah, it's
Also, I
tough.
mean, also like it's just that the funny thing is, the fact is that bad food just tastes better too. I'm sorry. For the most point, for me, that's just for me personally, is that like it would be hard to uh weight loss and stuff because you just see so much like bad food and you know that it tastes so good. You see burgers and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, that makes me so hungry for that. I don't really usually look at things like salads and good stuff like that and vegetables and all that, and I'm like, oh man, that makes me super hungry. It's usually the opposite, but I'll see like you know a burger or something like that, and I'll be like, dude, I need to have that thing. So
Well, and
that's what makes it tough.
even me who does meal prep, I even making my meals, I find like it's hard to like. I have to mentally make myself include a vegetable because I think I was talking to the fiance or something. She mentioned like, "Hey, you should probably eat more vegetables." I'm like, "What do you mean? I eat great." And I was like, "Oh, my meals. That meal prep was just meat and potatoes, or rice or whatever, chicken and rice or whatever." But yeah, I don't know. Losing weight, I haven't personally set that goal because I haven't needed to for football. But
That's been
once
my
football,
goal for like 10 years, like, and I don't think a New Year's resolution is going to change that. I
And
just,
here we are. And here we are with the 800-pound podcast.
yeah,
So we
right.
see how much the resolutions have really helped over the years.
we have to change all of our branding, so maybe we
Yeah.
don't worry about.
After this year, for sure, it's going to be like the 500-pound. We're just going to change it every single year. But I mean, as far as exercise is concerned, I mean, I think that's just something. A lot of that has to do with time
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, with
Well,
work
money
and everything
too.
like that, nobody feels like working out most of the time. And I think everybody will commit for like a week or something like that. Then they'll realize between work or school or whatever they have, they just like don't feel like doing it. I think that's what it comes down to. That's why for me, I think exercise by far would be the worst one to make as my resolution, just because after work and stuff, I'm just so tired. I don't feel like doing that kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah,
Well, and part of
Mhm.
weight loss is a lot of people don't understand that you need to be in a calorie deficit all the time. Like you can eat
Mhm.
crap foods as long as you're under a certain threshold of calories. And like the other end of that is you can eat a bunch of calories and go to the gym, but if you're still ingesting more calories than you're burning off at the end of the day, like you could still gain weight.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's tough for a lot of people and I've gone on a few diets where I try to limit myself to like 1,500 calories, which for someone who weighs almost 350 pounds is not very much. And I just get super cranky. I mean, it works, but I'm just miserable the whole time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it always is. I mean, it also is a lot of it can be just flat out laziness on days that it could be done exercising. You just are like you're just lazy about it. Sometimes is another reason I think that
Mhm.
resolution doesn't work very often. I mean, let's face it. I mean, a lot of people are just too lazy to want to do it. They'll do it for a little bit, and then other things will take up like will be more important to them, and it'll go on the back burner. Or sleep or be more important or video games or whatever it is that they choose to do other than what they should do to make themselves you know more healthy. But
Yeah,
the only other one I could think of was really common was smoking, stopping
smoking,
smoking.
alcohol. That's kind of what I was thinking too.
You smoke
Was another one.
alcohol?
Smoking and alcohol.
Smoking
But yes,
alcohol now,
yeah,
that's
you
the new thing this
probably
year.
could.
That's how you quit both at the same time because you're not smoking cigarettes and you're not drinking alcohol, but you're
Yeah,
smoking alcohol.
you're smoking the alcohol.
Inhaling alcohol vapors can harm your brain and lungs and intoxicate someone very quickly. Ooh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I've seen
We're
people do it.
We're supposed to be talking about how to getting better, not giving them ideas on how to get worse. All right, you're trying to give people ideas on how to get worse faster. But that's
So when
usually
yeah,
stress, right? A lot.
well,
What are
when
you
I
saying?
saw, yeah, I agree. It was what I saw on here is spend more time with loved ones.
Mm, mm,
I, I've made I've made resolutions, which in all honesty, I think resolutions are dumb. I think there are our excuse to point out something crappy about ourselves that we probably should have fixed sooner. But
It
I
almost it
mean, I've
becomes like an excuse to push it off almost.
Yeah, like, I don't have to worry about this now because I'll just do it for a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've made resolutions of which are just me reminding myself that maybe I should spend more time with the fiance, which is fair because I need to spend more time with her when I'm home because I'm long distance. But yeah, spending time with loved ones, get organized, and sleep more around here as well in the top
I definitely
10.
don't have to worry about that one. Like I got that
I
I got to use that as a resolution every year then, because frankly, I hit that mark every single year. Sleep more.
realistic. I should probably set that as one of mine. I get 5 to 6 hours a night, and like I could probably get more if I was a little more organized.
I mean,
My
I'm
tough
used to
thing is I have like a range of like 6.5 to 8 hours is when I'm gonna feel the best. But if I get less than 6.5 and more than 8, then I feel the same, like just awful.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I've found that going with the lesser end of that is usually better, just because then I have more time during the day where I'm not at work. But
That's my thing. Why would I sleep? Why would I sleep when I have all this time for activities?
yeah,
Oh god. Oh god. Me, I'm used to, like, I honestly, in reality, need to get more sleep. Because I honestly, what I do is not good for you. But I've become used to it over the years, and I usually only get like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours of sleep, maybe on days that I work. And then I'll sleep for 12 or 13 hours on days that I have off. Is
Yeah,
basically how I try to make up for it.
that's
Uh,
probably not healthy,
yeah.
but
So
there is
hey,
a
like,
small percentage of people that have a gene where they can make it on like very little sleep, but it's
yeah,
it's a
I
very
don't.
small percentage.
I
yeah, it's
function
like
perfectly fine with only like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I can do 3 or 4 hours sleep and then go to work for 12 hours if I wanted to, and function perfectly fine. But on the days that I have off, I crash. Though it catches up with me eventually. So, but I've been doing that for like, over for 20 years now.
Mhm.
Maybe that's
So
why
it's
you're in
kind of,
pain all the time. Gotta give your body
oh,
time to
Yeah,
recover.
that's sports and age, man. Sports is what really, most of my pains are from just past injuries that just
So
never went away.
I have a couple different ones. One that I think is pretty common is to save money, which can
Mm,
go into a lot of things. That could be, lowering your expenses on needs, or not needs, but wants, rather than
mhm.
such as like ordering
Lego,
out food, or,
Lego.
splurging on, Legos. I have that problem.
like not me.
Um,
This is the guy with the Lego Hogwarts behind him.
Listen, that was one time, and it was because I got a rebate. Okay.
I have a horrible addiction to buying retro video games and Pokemon cards. So
Mhm.
I've been pretty good with the
Pokemon
Pokemon
cards are
cards
expensive.
recently. Um,
Uh,
Another thing, which was kind of an interesting one that I thought of, is to get through your video game backlog.
That's fair. Yeah.
oh god, that will never happen.
Yeah, I'm not as bad as some people I know, but I know a lot of people that will buy. I think is it called the Humble Bundles,
Oh
where
Yeah.
they just get a ton of games and they never play them. And I always ask, like, why do you buy these? And they're like, oh, it's a bunch of games, but they don't play them. So I don't know. My backlog isn't that bad, but there are some games that I've been wanting to play that I've been putting off for a while.
I gotta finish Red Dead. It's been on my list, but
I zipped through Red Dead 2, man. Fucking that game was so good, so
it was
good.
so good. But I take my a very slow time
But
going through it.
mine is just like, because since I like to play a lot of multiplayer games, I like to play with other people. So single player games for me is that I will start playing them, and then like somebody else will want to play a game, and I can't play that game with them, so I'll end up playing something else, and
Yep.
then that just gets, eventually over time it'll just get put behind,
Hmm.
and then another game will come out that's a single player game that I've been looking forward to, and then I'll start playing that, and then the same. It's just like a terrible, terrible circle of things. And now I probably have a backlog of games that I haven't finished that are well into the over a dozen.
Well, you and I have like worlds on different games that we'll just never play ever again.
It's just, there are games that I could say that I'm going to finish, and I just, it's just a flat out lie. I'm just not gonna. I'm lying to myself that I'm going to finish this game because it's just never gonna happen. No matter how many times I try, something else will always come in the way for that.
What's
Yeah.
Shadow? What's the one you want to get through? I know Raptor mentioned Red Dead.
Starfield.
Okay, that's gonna
I s-
be some
it-
time.
Starfield and Cyberpunk. I still haven't got through either one of
That's
those.
that's gonna be
Gosh,
time.
I forgot you had Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm trying to
And
think. You know, it's gonna sound stupid, but mine's probably Dirt 5.
does it actually have like a story to it?
I mean, a little bit. I don't know. I just like racing games, and I'm kind of like you. I prefer multiplayer games, and most people I know do not play racing games, so I'm just kind of by myself. So that's like my single player game style that I do.
But you're not into single player games that much, anyways. So
No, I
like
I'm
I haven't known you to be a single player person.
I
Honestly.
can't be alone with my thoughts. It's a bad thing.
The other thing too is I have like half of all the Lego games 100%ed, and I really wanted to continue that trend, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
You should start a stream where you just finish your Lego games.
If I figure out how to stream off my Xbox, I will.
Okay.
It's literally just half the games. Everyone is like 1/4 of the game, half the game. That's all you.
I don't know. Can you stream off your Xbox now that Mixer's not a thing?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. That's a
Uh,
good idea, honestly. There's not. I've tried. There's not a lot of people that stream Lego
I
games.
don't know if you can anymore because you used to be able to right to Twitch, but they took away snapping. So that was a long time ago. They used to have
Yeah, it was.
snapping.
Oh,
But
yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
There's a lot of new reasons. You know what's a random one that's like pretty common I find is like maybe instruments, but like specifically people people want to play the guitar a lot. People talk about playing the guitar a lot for their New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and instruments and stuff and hobbies in general, like taking up new hobbies, trying to like get out of their house more or take up new hobbies or something like that. I think they just I think most of them know that it's just not going to happen because life is always going to get in the way. I mean, if you're
Mhm.
working and stuff like that, I mean, I feel like people just need to be more realistic with their resolutions rather than every year trying to go for the home run swing. I think
Mhm.
probably more people would finish their resolutions or stick with them if they were something that was more realistic to their life. Like something
Mhm.
that I can do even though I have to work, or something that I have to do even though I have to go to school, or something, you know.
Yeah.
I think in the end, like the big reason that resolutions don't happen is because people always go for the home run swing of
Yeah.
resolutions
I
rather
want
than
I want
small,
to be 150 pounds less.
yeah,
It's
rather than
almost like the
small
opposite of
victories.
cold turkey. Like if you
Mm.
quit, like, you know, quitting smoking cold turkey, it's almost like the opposite where you put too much into it and then that kind of like burns you out immediately.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think if people would did like small increments, something just tiny at a time, they would definitely get finished more. But I don't know why people think that going for the biggest one they could possibly think of that they know is not realistic with the way that they live their life. I mean, that's why they never. That's why they don't work a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I don't. They're dumb, but you know they make people happy.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna
I
get.
honestly
I'll
think that
probably have to.
probably it is depressing though. Like I think they shouldn't do them if they know they're not going to, because it probably is depressing to like think, like you said, like it's something that you probably don't like about yourself, and when
Yeah.
you don't accomplish that, you're like you just feel worse about it. So I wouldn't even. That's why I wouldn't even make resolutions, is because
And like
it
I
could
said,
only just make you feel worse.
you should probably figure that out sooner than waiting till the start of the new year.
I always set
But
my expectations low. That way I'm never disappointed.
Yeah, set the bar low. That's fine. It's a good idea.
well, yeah. With that, I think we'll go to our second topic here. So this is an interesting one. So predictions for the new year. What do we think? What do we feel like is going to happen in the new year? This could go multiple ways
I think AI is going to take
politically.
over.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about AI.
Not in like
Um,
the doomsday sense,
no,
obviously.
but
I think it's going to be more prevalent in like social media and certain phone apps, and there may be some software that ends up with like specific plugins for AI. I know it's something I use at work a lot for IT since it's come out. Um, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with PowerShell or even what. Okay,
No.
well, it's basically a command prompt for Windows, and a PowerShell script that could take you a few hours to make now takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It definitely helps in a lot. I think AI helps in a lot of ways to lighten the load of a lot of work and stuff, but there's definitely a downside to it for sure. I mean,
I
I don't
just
know how
worry
much
about
it goes in schools and stuff like that. I haven't heard a lot of it being used in, like, is it used a lot? Have you heard that's used a
people are
lot in
using it
you're
to
schools?
write their
funny.
essays and stuff.
You're funny. You're so oblivious to the outside world. I use it for any assignment that I can, and nobody knows me, so it's okay. Nobody can track this, but like, I won't. I'm an English major, so I won't use it on my essays because I kind of enjoy writing them myself. But like any like discussion forums or like low level things, I will just plug it into ChatGPT and just slightly tweak it, and I get good grades. Like,
I mean,
I'm not.
shit. If we ever
That's a scary thing, though.
can't come up with something to talk about on the podcast, so you just ask
Honestly,
ChatGPT, and it'll give you 100 ideas, and you'll probably like most of them. Like it's.
hmm
But
it's really good.
isn't that the scary thing about it, though? Is that somebody, say, in a profession that should require you to learn this knowledge and know it and all that kind of stuff, and do it through essays and writing and stuff like that, like a medical or something like that, could do that and not really learn it and pass and go on to be a medical professional of some sort.
100% is
Like,
terrifying.
that's, to me, feels like it's a little scary because they're never actually learning anything. They're just letting AI do it and becoming a professional in that field. That's what makes me nervous about that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and like, I mean, I'm not as worried. Like, I'm going to be. My cat's here. I'm going to be a teacher, and like my one essay about biomechanics is not going to help me be a teacher any better. And I'm glad that whatever I can cheat on it, but it's just like, yeah, no, that worries me more about like medical professionals.
Well, I can't speak for any profession, but I know in the IT field, most places view your degree as just a piece of paper, and they would much
Yeah.
rather you have several years of work experience than have gone to school. And if you cheat your way through school and you end up with a job, they're going to find out really quickly that you don't know anything.
Mm.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that might not pertain to every field, but I feel like medicine, that would definitely become prevalent pretty quickly.
Yep.
But I don't know.
What's the fact of, I mean, how
I mean,
much
your
is AI
doctor's
going to take
Googling
away
your
jobs
symptoms
as well?
anyways.
You know? Yeah, how much is AI going to take away from jobs as well? Is that going to hurt jobs for human beings in the end? Like, if somebody can just do that kind of thing, plug it in, and like,
hmm
that's it, rather than having to actually pay a person to do something like that to do the same exact job. Like, will AI this year take away more jobs than it does help things?
I can't think of a whole lot
Yeah.
of areas where that would happen other than like maybe call centers, but you're still going to need people on the phone because there will always be old people that don't know how to use computers. Um, and I
I
mean,
feel
like,
personally attacked by that.
there's other factors that are taking away from jobs. Like, one of the things that annoys me the most are the self checkouts at Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm so petty. They always ask you for like a star rating on your experience. I've given it
Yeah, I've noticed that
one
lately.
star for 2 years straight. One, no matter if I had a good time or a bad time, 1 star.
Walmart shouldn't
It's
need, like, self checkout shouldn't take away from jobs at Walmart, because I can't tell you how many times I've been to Walmart and it's been so busy that the self checkouts are overwhelmed, but they refuse to open any more check lanes at
right,
all. At all.
right.
There's like 14 check lanes,
Yeah.
and they
There's like,
refuse to put
yeah,
another human being on there. And so there's one person just sitting there like with a line like
Well,
45 minutes long.
I don't know if this is just a thing here, but like I'll notice that for some reason they'll just have half of the self checkouts open a lot of the time.
I
Like they
think
won't have they'll
I
yeah.
think the equipment is so old now, like old, like technologically speaking, a few years is kind of old for, equipment like that that's being
Technology.
used hard every day. I think the machines are breaking and they're just not getting repaired quick enough. It's like the McDonald's ice cream machine,
Oh man, I
Yeah.
hate the McDonald's ice cream machine.
But I think I probably agree with that though. That I think AI is going to be
I
a
just
really
worry that
big
we're
thing
gonna
this year.
I worry that we're gonna be our world's gonna be way too dependent on it. That just scares me.
I mean, they the same thing goes for the internet too. I
Yeah,
mean, our,
that's
our
fair.
world
We
has gotten
worried about the
so
internet.
stinking dependent. Because like what? I mean, how many people are just completely lost when they don't have internet?
Yeah, when was the last time you went to
Me,
take a shit without your phone?
oh, it was a terrible experience. I read my mom's home magazines.
We keep little handheld like Yahtzee and Battleship on our bathroom just in case.
Monopoly. But yeah, so I mean, I think AI is just going to be an extension of like the internet, where, like you said, I think we're going to become dependent on it to do a lot of tasks that we
hmm
just don't feel like
That's
take the time for.
yeah,
If
that's
we can
fair. That
plug it in and be like, hey, I can get this done in seconds, rather than me actually having to actually go through and study it myself or look it up myself. And that's I don't know if that really speaks to like the world becoming lazier or if it's just smarter. I can't tell which one it really is.
I think there's a
yeah.
way to correctly use it and a way to misuse it.
Well, so I'm not gonna watch it because I don't care. But they just released a new Disney movie, and they like openly admitted that the entire thing is made with AI, and you can tell it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Oh, one thing I saw recently, which is a bad side of AI, is people are using it to create like new deep fakes of people.
oh
And
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
the
That
darker
I've
side of
seen that.
that, I mean, there's sick people out there that will likely use that to look at kids in the same way, which is unfortunate, but
hmm
Yeah, but between images and voices too, as well.
yep.
I mean, that can be very scary and very another thing that's very scary and if used the wrong way. Because I
They're
mean,
they're going to need some
can't expect
regulation
everybody.
of some kind. I don't
Yeah.
And some of them are hard to tell the difference when it comes to like voices and stuff like that. It's really hard to tell the difference between what is fake and what is not.
hmm
Because I've seen YouTube videos of somebody sitting there trying to be like, okay, guess which one is the AI voice of this person and which one is the real voice of this person.
I remember when those like presidential Minecraft videos came out, and they were just like hilarious. I loved those videos. And then I was like, "Oh, this AI thing is so funny." And then now we're just like, "So this is our world now."
Everything new always has a bad use for it, and we will always find the worst kind of use for something new. I
Yeah.
feel like,
it's human nature.
yeah. So I mean, it's pretty much like with everything is that with the good is going to come the very bad as well. So, and that's happened with the internet, everything new technology. What technology has ever come out that human hasn't found terrible use for it that should never
Mhm.
be intended? And AI is just going to be another one of those things which I hope that it's not too bad, but it probably will be. I mean, that's just how we are. People use it to make money somehow by doing deep fakes or stuff like that.
I worry a lot. Every year I worry, but I worry a lot this year that this is going to be finally to be the year where we start losing like really big celebrities of our childhood because there's a lot of top tier celebrities that are in their 80s and 90s, and I worry a lot.
I mean, it doesn't happen every year. Like,
It happens every year, but not in the same. Like, there's a lot of childhood actors for probably a lot of us that are still alive that are they're getting there, and I'm just waiting for the fall. It's all going to happen at once.
Is
Well,
that with your prediction?
you can go see him at the Wax Museum in Vegas afterwards.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, what was your prediction, Raptor?
I'm not predicting anyone.
No, I mean prediction. Your upcoming predictions for the new year.
I think that was it.
I think that was it. I think that we're going to have a surprising amount of, I don't want to say surprising amount of death. I'm just worried. I'm worried about who we might lose. Let's say that.
Especially if that Epstein list comes out.
Oh, that's a good point.
There might be some people getting killed.
Yep.
Or themselves. Yeah. It needs to come
That's
out
crazy.
though.
That's crazy.
Regardless of what the consequences are going to be as far as that is concerned, stuff like that needs to come out, and people that did that need to be
It's
outed.
so crazy how long these people have been protected and like they won't release this information. Like I understand the concept of like doxing someone, but when it's something like this, I just don't. I don't know how
When
you
it's
can
something
keep
with
that away
kids-
from people.
Yeah, when it's something with kids, I don't think that there should be some sort of protection for that as far as people knowing who it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like this year, I can't even think of too many people that we had lost this past year, besides like Matthew Perry, because it was just so recent.
Mhm.
You know, and a lot of them are. I think a lot of them are just depression too. You know, that gets to a lot of people after a while. I think especially some stars that, you know, maybe their star has faded a little bit and they're not used to being in the background as much anymore.
Mhm.
Then we just have older ones. Child actors has always been a big thing.
As long as we never lose Dick Van Dyke, hopefully he never dies.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but one day he's gonna. Don't worry. With this upcoming year, he's going to put his mind into AI, and
I was gonna say they're all gonna become AI.
on a different, like, for me, mine's a little bit like just normal. Is that I think that this upcoming year is going to be one of the worst year for video games.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
It's
This
been getting
past year was
worse
so
over
good.
time.
This
It's been
past
getting
year has
pretty
been
bad.
pretty good. The 2023 video game releases, I think, was probably one of the best years for video releases. I mean, I mean, with the games that have even come out recently, I mean, depending on what you enjoy, but as far as like Baldur's Gate 3 came out, you know, Super Mario Wonder, if you're into that type of thing, what Tears of the Kingdom, did that come out this past year? Is that
Yeah, I guess it did.
2023? You know, Starfield came out. Like all of these, Spider-Man 2 came out. Like all of these really good games came out as compared to other years, you know, that have bad years. I think this year was probably one of the best years for like video game releases, and that's not even counting in all of the indie titles that come out that are really good. Who honestly, I believe indie games are kind of taking over the business, to be honest, because I think people are getting sick and tired of paying an arm and a leg for AAA titles to get mediocre games
Copy
when they can pay
paste.
they can pay, you know, $10-15 for a good indie game and have just as much fun playing it. But this upcoming year, since so many good releases came out this year from a lot of big studios, I mean I was looking at the 2024 releases that they have coming up so far, and there wasn't really one title in that entire release calendar that I was really looking forward to at all, honestly.
Well,
Mhm.
I think that has to do with COVID because there was 2 or 3 years where they weren't really releasing any large games, and that was mostly, I think, just because so many people were working remotely that I think productivity kind of got cut in half. And I mean, you know, during that time, there were a lot of people that just weren't working at all. So I'm
Mhm.
almost wondering if we just kind of got all of that, all the backed up releases in 2023, and that you're right about next or this year kind of being crappy in that
Probably,
department.
that's probably pretty true because a lot of those games probably would have been released a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But since nobody could be in the studios together, they all had to do remote work and you can only do so much as far as remote work. So yeah, that's probably very true. But
Yeah, I'm looking right now. There's nothing really catches my eye. There's a lot of video games coming out, but none of them are anything really.
honestly, on the flip side, I think maybe this is the year that for sure, maybe like indie games really take over the market. Honestly, I mean, because like it doesn't necessarily on the release calendars, it doesn't necessarily show all the indie games that are coming out. But I mean, people are always going to want to play something. You know,
Yeah.
they're not going to stop playing video games, and if no big company releases AAA companies release good games, then they're going to find something. I mean, they found like Among Us the one year, and that was huge. They'll always find something to play, and I think maybe this is the year that really indie games take over the entire market, and that you're either going to find they're definitely going to probably find the one or two games that are going to be huge this year. I mean, right now, Lethal Company is probably one of the biggest games in the market right now as an indie game. I can't think of very many other games right now that, besides the normals like the League of Legends and all that kind of stuff, that are like big on the market. I mean, if you look at most of the streams and stuff, you're not going to see too many. Besides the really big games, you're not going to see too many uh big studio games that are up there, but you'll probably see like Lethal Company will be right near thousands and thousands of people playing it.
Lot of remasters coming out next year.
You know,
Give me Black Ops 2 and I'll be happy.
tells you're gonna be disappointed.
You're
You
gonna
don't
ruin
want
it.
Black Ops 2.
Oh, they're gonna ruin the game. It's fine, but at least I will buy it.
Yeah, so I mean,
You guys have any sports predictions? Who's
Mm,
our Super Bowl champ this year?
This year,
oh god, I haven't even pulled up.
49ers or Ravens. I think it's a 49ers Ravens Super Bowl, and then 49ers get smashed again like they just did last week. If you guys watch
Ravens,
football,
I don't know. I can't freaking.
that's fine. That's fine.
That's on a completely different stuff. But I will always think that Lamar Jackson's overrated. I just don't. I don't think.
That's fine if you think those things. They are the number one team in all of football right now.
I think their team as a whole is good, but I think him as being the best quarterback in the National Football League is
The Bears will be good.
the Bears this upcoming year.
No,
I mean, Fields has gotten better.
He's actually been pretty good. He's been better in the second half of the season for sure.
Give him a few. I will say this: if they give him an actual like few good receivers or something like that, and he still sucks, then he's just never going to be good.
That's
but
the thing.
I mean,
it's the NFL. They're all good receivers. Like,
but I mean, this is
I
the
agree.
thing is that the problem is right now is that he is not succeeding in a passing friendly league. Like his numbers for passing and stuff, like, I mean, this isn't the resolution, but like, his passing numbers have been terrible in a very, very much passing friendly NFL right now. It's like there are people throwing for 4,000 or more yards every single year on a regular basis, guys, compared to 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, that people were barely throwing for. Maybe one person might.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Dodgers for World Series this year.
No.
Raptor probably can't really have an input on this, but you're welcome to debate me, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
I don't see it. Like they're always going to be one. I think they're going to be another team that wins 100 games plus and then blow it in the playoffs. I mean,
that's
some
fair.
Some teams were made for the long haul, and some people were made for the short. And if you can, a lot of these teams that can make it past the long haul, like say for instance, like for my team, the Phillies, they're not a terrific long haul team. Throughout the entire season, they play, above average or, somewhere, around there, pretty good. But they were built for the short term of like, okay, a few games. All right, and that's why they've beaten the Braves 2 years in a row and stuff like that. Is because they're not built to beat the Braves over the entire season, but you put them in a 5 to 7 game series, and that's what they're built for. They're built for that type of thing. And I think the Dodgers have been built for a long season where they have enough depth and everything like that to do it. But as far as like the short term is concerned, there's a reason that they've lost. And I don't think just picking up Otani and
I don't
what's
know
his
his
name,
name, but
Yamamoto,
yeah,
Yamamoto
that's
or
the
something like
guy
that.
has never thrown a pitch in Major League Baseball, and he's making. I think he's the highest paid starting pitcher ever, which is crazy.
I mean, that's how it is with a lot of Japanese pitchers, though, because like, I don't know how like far back you remember, but like that's how like they were with Hideki Arabu back in the New York Yankees a long time ago. It's because they don't you can't really get a good gauge of how they're going to be in American football by watching Japanese football or baseball, but they have to pay them the big bucks in order to get them to even come over here. So
Yeah, I mean Otani
uh,
worked out.
yeah, he's a rare one though. Like he's like I've seen so many people say he's overrated, but he's just one that I mean he's proved it over how many seasons
He's
now.
elite on both sides. Like you cannot say he's
Yeah,
overrated. That's
yeah.
absurd. But
But
yeah,
that's the
baseball's
only
a
reason
long
I don't think.
season. 162
Yeah,
games. People get hurt. People get tired. Like
and that's the other thing is like it also comes down to who's going to get hurt and who's not.
yeah.
But I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. I mean, I think the 49ers is a good guess, honestly.
Honestly, I was gonna predict that whatever team that guy signed for $700 million was not going to do well, just for the clickbait.
Oh, I feel so
I
bad for him because he's been on the Angels with Mike Trout, which are literally the two best baseball players in the league, and they suck still. They never won. You know.
yeah, my hot take is Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl.
I hope so. That'd be amazing. I don't think anyone, I don't think anyone besides the other teams in in the division would be mad at that.
I wonder what a $20 bet would win me.
You should honestly. You should put $20 on the Lions right now.
But
I don't know if it's a prediction. I'm hoping the housing market crashes this year because
Yes,
I would
yes.
like to
I
be
would
able
buy
to
a
buy a
house.
house in the next couple years, and with the way things are going, it seems like that's not going to happen. So
I think the Canadian market's good, isn't it? I thought the Canadian market was.
No, it's terrible.
I
No,
thought you could get
house
like a really nice house for like half the prices we can in America.
in Saskatchewan.
it's just a cabin
You
in
can
the
get
woods.
in the Saskatchewan. You can get really really nice houses for $500,000, which I don't know
Yeah.
how that is to you guys.
Is that the
But
U.S.
you live in
dollar that you're referring
that's the
to?
Canadian dollar.
What is
The Canadian dollar.
what's the
So
conversion there?
360,000 American.
I wouldn't say really nice, but that gets you a better than most house here, I would say.
So that's Saskatchewan, but you live in Saskatchewan, which gets to plus and negative 40, which I don't know if you know how the conversion works, but negative 40 is the same. It gets incredibly cold here.
Take the good with
It's
the
just
bad.
What's that in
not
freedom units?
negative 40 is negative 40.
Wait, what?
Plus, yeah, negative 40 is the same in both. You didn't know that?
I gotta fact check that.
I didn't know that, honestly.
Oh shit, he's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get a couple days like that in South Dakota, like just because of wind chill, but
so here's the range. It'll go from negative 40 to 105 in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, we'll get that here.
I will not get that here.
But it'll be negative 40 from like December to like we'll get snow in May. It's not good.
Lowest I've seen here is 32 degrees so far this year.
The problem with the housing market is in BC, where I'm from, which I would like to live, is that $500,000 house is $1 million in BC. No questions.
Yeah.
Like my parents bought their house almost 20 years ago for under 300,000, and now it's worth 800,000.
Yeah, it's interest rates are high. People that already have money are buying homes and reselling them or fixing them up and turning them into like rental units or Airbnbs, and
It's a big thing.
it's
Turning
tough.
them into.
Like, I don't know. I don't like to be the whole complainer, woe is me type, but I feel like people around my age have really gotten fucked by a lot of things as adults, and this is one of them. Like, I'm 30 and I can't buy a house because they're too expensive,
Mhm.
and I don't want
Thanks,
to. I don't want to get into a money pit for 7 to 10% interest. Like, it's just I've already
thanks,
done
thanks,
that.
Shadow.
Yeah, thanks, Shadow.
What? Sorry, I don't have a house, nor do I have any.
I think
the same as
I
you.
think I can get a. I was looking into it. I think I can get a 6% loan, but that's about it. It's not good.
That's still like, I think that's more than double what you would typically get a mortgage for.
Yeah.
Because right now renting is not any cheaper, man. Renting apartments and like that,
No.
not any better. It's actually worse, I think, than actually buying a house in some cases.
But it's
The
tough because
mortgage
they
compared
squeeze
to
you out all this money with rent, and then you don't have any savings to buy a house, like, because you're
yeah.
you're
So I'm
trying to
saying
exist.
buying a house in some cases you're better off paying the same amount of money to pay for a mortgage than you are for what some of us are paying for just rent for a 2-bedroom apartment, or something like that. It's insane.
hmm
But yeah, that's my predictions. And then I guess the only
So a
other
lot
one
of.
that I'll be really short on is that I think the election is going to be a shit show. That's my only.
Oh, it's gonna
I'll
be
be very
hilarious. I
short.
can't
I'll be
wait.
very short on that one because I don't want to get. But I think that's going to be a whole.
So a lot of sadness in the new year. A lot of
Yeah,
not good time. We're
I
we can't afford to live.
I'm
People are
ready.
wait. Does
dying.
anybody
Depression.
have a happy one? Does anybody have like anything? Even if we don't have to go into it, like, does anybody have anything that could possibly be considered positive?
I have no positive ones.
I got
I
nothing.
mean, I heard.
Oh, maybe my student loans get decreased, like they said they were
Oh,
going to, and
yeah,
then they like
there's that.
pulled the rug out from under me. But I don't know, man.
I mean, the only thing I have heard was from like I forget what big investor it was or whatever that he said that they think that the high inflation is going to end this year. Like
I mean, it
prices
should.
continuously keep going up. So I mean, that's a predict that inflation might end and we might either hit a plateau or it might start going back down again. So
The problem is these corporations have realized that they can charge us whatever the hell they want, and we're still going to buy shit because we need it, and it's disgusting.
stay positive, Pritch. Come on, we're trying to be positive here.
Positivity, yay!
It's gonna go down this year, okay? Positive. Let's end that topic on a positive note. Inflation's
Yes.
gonna go down this year.
Hey,
Pritch's student loans are gonna go down maybe a little.
no.
Yeah, maybe for me paying them.
Next one, because we tried to go out on positive on that one, all right?
Perfect. So this week for our community question, it comes from Pritch's amazing wife, Riley.
My wife.
Yeah, his wife. She asks, just not specific, but what are some of our New Year's traditions for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? I'll start by saying that I am currently in the process of marrying into a very Dutch family, and turns out Dutch people have a lot of traditions that I don't know about. Food, family, friends. I don't know. It's
Better ingredients,
there's a
better pizza.
The three
Parmesan.
F's, man. You gotta
Yeah.
go with the three
Yeah.
F's, man.
Yeah, I've been in last few years. I've been introduced to a lot of Dutch foods. One that they have on New Year's Eve is called oliebollen. It is like a deep fried apple fritter. It's amazing, but it's like, wow, what is going on
Sounds
right
delicious.
Is it
now? It's
better
amazing.
than a Tim Hortons apple fritter?
No.
Eh.
You had to
I had
really
one of those.
think about that one.
I had one of those today.
Be patriotic or
I've never had one, but I
a-
love apple fritters, and I can only imagine. Like,
They're probably they're the only thing I ever get.
Yeah.
Every assorted box always comes with one. I just go straight for it. I come from a 12 o'clock New Year's Eve family, but her family they live where I am now in BC, but which is PST. But they're from Ontario, which is ES or Eastern, Eastern time. So they celebrate. They stop celebrating at 9 o'clock, which is very annoying to me. Or they like celebrate at 9 o'clock and then they go to bed, and I'm like, what?
I mean, does it
It doesn't
really
matter.
matter? Like,
Just stay up till 12 on New Year's. Come on.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
like
what
other
we did, and then we
countries,
went the hell home.
yeah, other countries celebrate at different times too. Like, a lot of them go by whatever our time is. But
Yeah.
so good food and family. That sounds amazing, to be honest.
Oh, it's great. It's just like
For freaking,
I'm not used to it.
like that sounds like a great thing. Um,
You always gotta give your significant other a kiss at midnight. So if
Oh,
you
I
guys,
didn't do that.
yeah, if you didn't stay up late enough, then you guys are not getting married. I hate to break it to you.
No. Her and I stayed up with my parents,
But you didn't
and we literally
kiss. You
stayed.
gotta seal the
We
deal.
No, you know what? We totally forgot to. Actually, I fell asleep at about 11:30, and then I woke
damn,
up at 11:50, and we just sat on the couch waiting, and then 12 o'clock hit, and we're like, oh yeah, it's 12 o'clock, and I went home.
they're like high five.
Yeah, it's pretty. We high fived. Yeah, we left room for Jesus. There's no premarital touching.
But yeah, I mean, my only traditions were mostly as a kid. I mean, I don't really have as many traditions nowadays. Or haven't for a really long time. Most of mine was from a kid. Is that for the most part, that was like one of the only times that my parents ever let us stay up late, watch the ball drop. You watch the Rockin' New Year's Eve was what it was with Dick Clark. Um, and then our traditional food for New Year's Day was sauerkraut and hot dogs. I never understood how that was, but almost everybody that I know, like in our family and even outside of our family, when I talk to other people in around the country, they also have that of eating sauerkraut. I've never actually looked up what the reason why that was, but every single year we eat sauerkraut and hot dogs. The hot dogs are inside the sauerkraut.
What?
What?
They're in it. Like it's a pot
You
of
just dip
sauerkraut.
it in?
No, they're
You
they're
just,
cooking it.
I want to vomit.
They're kraut.
I
Then they
hate that.
turn into kraut dogs.
You guys cook these inside?
Inside
Does
the
that place smell like a sweaty butthole the
Oh,
whole day?
smells horrible. Horrible. Literally just the worst smelling
why
thing ever. But for some reason, like that's always been the tradition that I've known is that you cook the sauerkraut and the hot dogs together, and then you eat kraut dogs, and I think there's also roast beef cooked in it too. I'm pretty
what?
sure that's what it was.
Uh,
There's I don't think it's cooked in it. I think the roast beef is outside of it.
Dude, your skin probably absorbs that, and you just smell like ass for a whole week.
But it's so good though. I got so used. I mean, I don't know if it's just because we got used to it over the years, but it's so good. Kraut dogs and roast beef and stuff. Oh, just terrific. And then of course, I think I don't know about you, but most people have watched the Macy's Day Parade.
Wait, it's a Dutch thing. It's a
Yeah,
Dutch thing.
that might be what it is.
For many Susquehanna Valley residents, do you know what that is?
Yep, Susquehanna. That's where it is.
Susquehanna
PA.
residents, New Year's Day means eating pork and sauerkraut. The Pennsylvania Dutch believed the meal would bring good luck and prosperity to the year ahead. For decades,
Yep.
the meal has been a labor of love for the Lancaster country men.
Yep. Told you that's what it's been, man. That's around that area. That's just freaking, and people that have gone from Pennsylvania to other parts of the country have all kept that tradition most of the time. And literally all through all the years, I never really looked up why. It's just been a thing. And
That's
and then
hilarious.
What
yeah,
exactly is sauerkraut? Like I know what it
it
is,
is
but like,
cabbage, and
is it like fermented cabbage?
I don't know what's in it exactly. I know it's
I'll find out in
cabbage.
2 seconds here.
But then we watched the Macy's Day Parade. We used to do that every single. Is that the?
I think
Oh no,
that's
that's on freaking.
Thanksgiving.
That's Thanksgiving. Sorry,
Yeah,
not
I
the
was
Macy's
gonna
Day Parade.
ask you if they did
Not
too,
the Macy's
but
Day Parade. No.
Finely cut raw cabbage has been fermented in various lactic acid bacteria.
oh god,
Lactic acid is the acid in your stomach.
yeah,
So
that's
good though.
that's what
I'm
gives
sorry.
What's
you
wrong
like
with it?
sore muscles.
But if it's something, like I said, it's something you grew up on, it's not something that you're gonna. And that's from the time I was a kid to the time I left the house. That was an every year thing, man.
So you didn't
Why are you
make
still not doing it?
you didn't make some kraut and dogs this year.
No, I don't even know how to make sauerkraut. Maybe you can get it. I think you can get
You
the
just
can
buy
now.
it.
But no, I can't personally. I would never make it myself. I can't get by the. I love the taste of sauerkraut. I don't like the smell of it. The smell of cooking it. So that's
Yeah.
bad. But the taste, I love it. I love pork and hot dogs and sauerkraut. Dude, like if somebody would pre-make that and bring it over to my house every year, like I would eat it every year.
I worked at a pizza place when I was younger, and they had a Reuben pizza, and it was topped with sauerkraut. And I used to dread having to get that bucket out of the cooler and get a whiff of that stench that was waiting for me in there. Oh my god!
And that's the funny thing is I don't think to this day I have ever eaten sauerkraut outside of the New Year's. Like I've never eaten a kraut dog outside of it. I've never eaten sauerkraut by itself outside of New Year's. It's always just been like a New Year's thing, and that's it. Like you don't eat it again till the next New Year's. Like, but those were like the only traditions that we had growing up that I haven't so much kept anymore.
Well, you guys have any personal goals or resolutions for the new year?
I'm getting married in May.
Is that a goal? Like,
I don't know. It's an upcoming thing. I'm excited for it. I hope it goes well.
okay.
My sister's getting married in May too.
Married in Gate.
Yeah, she's getting married in May as well because I'm supposed to fly out to the wedding.
You're gonna fly out to both weddings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, how far are you guys from? Oh, you guys are probably ways. I would say, how far are you guys from Michigan? Because hers is like
far.
up in Michigan. That's where the wedding is. That's where he's from.
Let's find out in 2 seconds here. 35 hours.
Oh god.
So yeah. Yeah. I don't know when it is in May exactly. I haven't talked to her. I forget exactly when it is, but yeah, hers is in May as well. So I'll be most likely flying up for that depending on what's going on with my job and stuff like that.
That's all you got, Raptor?
No, not really. There's a new job coming up in January that I'll be applying for to be a significant pay raise, and I'd be a big important guy. So do that. My football season. Hopefully we win. I don't know, not much. I'll be married, and that's my
season.
No. I got 2 more.
Oh, 2 more. That's right here.
And then he's on to the CFL.
Yeah, and then I'm off to be a family man. I don't want to play in the CFL for $50,000 a year. Thank you very much.
When you can make like twice as much doing not
hurting your body. Anything else.
Not giving yourself freaking brain damage.
Yeah.
He keeps saying his Canadian currency, and I'm like, well, that's not that bad. And then I mean, what's 50 converted to USD?
Let's find out here.
I mean, you think of like professional wise, think how much
37
single A baseball players make.
I was just say 37 is still pretty good compared to like minor league baseball. I don't know about other sports, but I would assume it's similar.
But I think the minimum you can make in the CFL is 57 a year. And it's just not enough to be like, yeah, now you got to go live in Quebec, and also you could just be cut and picked up on another team and traded, and
But you could
you're
play in
gonna
the
hurt your
XFL.
you're gonna hurt your body until you're 35. And oh, by the way, here's less than you would make if you just went with your degree.
Here's some CTE for you.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah. It's like,
that's the
no.
currency that they make in the NFL now. We
We're-
pay you in CTE.
We're low on funds this week because we're Canadian. Nobody watches us, so we can pay you in CTE if that's okay. It's a new cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that does sound like a new crypto. Yeah, they have the XFL and the USFL are combining. You could find a spot on there somewhere. Probably pay for even less.
Raptor, I think this is a good time once you're done with football. I think it'd be a good time for you to pursue a professional career in wrestling.
Sure. Whatever you say.
I want to see you on Monday Night Raw someday.
Oh, I was going to say
Sure,
sumo,
yeah.
but you know, hey.
Sumo.
I'm not big enough for sumo.
Those better start eating.
They have different weight classes for that.
I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight.
I want to see you be that white dude that goes over there and just destroys everybody wearing that freaking padded thong.
That's what you want to watch.
Yes.
Oh God. What about you, Pritch?
I'd like to lose some weight. I tell myself this every year, but like it's not one of those things where New Year's is gonna force me to do that. I just need to decide one day, like I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, God, you are a fat piece of shit. You need to stop eating so much. And I need to have one of those days. And then kind of coinciding with that, I need to stop spending so much money on like food delivery apps because they are just price gouging the hell out of you.
Oh my God, yes, they are.
But aside from that, I would like to play more golf this year, which gets expensive.
Let's say then you're gonna definitely have to get rid of the price app things because of the price of golf.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite things to do, and I don't feel like I do it as much as I want to. And it's tough here because like you can't golf in the winter. I mean, you go to a simulator, but it's not the same thing. And then this year I want to improve my career because I'm pretty unhappy with my current job, and I have been looking, so hoping to find something new this year.
Listen, if you want to, I can text you every day and tell you how fat I think you are. If it makes you feel any better,
I'll just laugh.
If that's what gets you going, I'll text you. Man, Fritz, you look really fat.
No, dude.
Maybe you should do some.
People insulting me doesn't get to me. It's insulting myself. That's what gets to me.
Look at yourself in the mirror, Pritch, today. All right.
I will tomorrow in the morning, and I'll be like, should we get Qdoba for lunch? I think we should.
We're gonna both Shadow and I are both gonna message you tomorrow morning about how fat you are.
Then it's gonna turn in from wanting him to lose weight to him like shame eating, and then he's gonna gain like 150 pounds.
What's it like not being able to see your dick, you fatty?
We're gonna have to change it to like 1 ton podcast after this upcoming year because Pritch has shame ate so much.
We're turning it into a mukbang channel where I'm just gonna eat a bunch while you guys watch me and listen.
Yeah, we're constantly going to switch. We're going to constantly every year switch the name of it depending on whether people lose or gain weight in this podcast. So every year our name is going to be different. So, but for me, it's. I mean, a lot of it's. Some of it's the same. I'm hoping to improve position at work, which is a possibility for sure. For sure, another one is I would love to get out of the house more. I feel like I've between work and everything else and stuff that goes on that I don't leave my house enough.
I would say go play some golf, but I know it's expensive. You ever tried disc golf?
No.
Does Shadow look like a disc golfer?
Way too much.
Do I look like a disc golfer?
Do I look like a disc golfer?
I mean,
because I play all the time.
You look like a professional wrestler.
Because I play disc golf. I love disc golf. It's so much fun.
But
I don't get the satisfaction out of it as I do regular golf. But
yeah, me neither. But yeah, just I mean, not even like going and spending money or going somewhere in particular, but just getting out of the house in general. Like it doesn't even need to be anywhere like the mall or something like that, or you
Go for
know,
walks.
just to get out of my house and get out in the world because I think for too long I've just been like so tired and stuff, and something's else going on that I just don't feel like leaving the house. Because a lot of times, like after work, I just don't feel like leaving my house, and on my days off, I sleep most of the time and all that type of thing. As far as like personalized, definitely personalized goals. As far as things that I've been really wanting to work on is my since big into D&D. I've been working on the new D&D game and system that I've been working on, and the one shot that I've been wanting to do. So my personalized goal for the year, as far as hobbies that I enjoy a lot, is to finish up that. I mean, it gives me a little time to do that. I mean, because really enjoy writing and stuff like that. So being able to create the one shot and the story for that, or is going to be fun.
So you're gonna host a
Working on
campaign
anything.
this year.
No, not a campaign. I'm not Raptor. I'm not as good as Raptor or that type of thing.
We should get back in talks about that.
But as far as the new D&D system that I am creating right now, or in the midst of creating, that I'm actually very excited for, but I've just had other stuff get in the way of doing it right now. I really, really believe that it can be like a really fun system for everybody, for new players and old players that have been playing for a while. So that's definitely a personal goal of mine is to finish something like that, because like everybody else, I have really bad problems, committing to something. So, once I start something, super hard time finishing actually what I'm doing. I believe that's like a problem of so many people. So that's why the goal is to finish that stuff out, because it's going to be something that I'm finally like, okay, I started this. I really need to follow through and finish it, because it's something that to me is really enjoyable. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's something that is definitely realistic of something that I can do, because it's something that I can work on in the spare time that shouldn't be my job and everything shouldn't get in the way of. But the committing, my biggest thing is committing issues, man. Like it's almost like the resolution things for a lot of people, is that like I'll say that I'll do something, but mine goes throughout the entire year, where I'll really get excited about something. I don't know how many other people do it, but I get super excited about doing something. And for like a month or two, I will really go hard at it, really work hard on it, really do it also, and then like all of a sudden it just slowly goes away, and then I
The
won't touch it again
Minecraft,
for
the Minecraft stage.
yeah, it's exactly kind of what it is.
The
Yeah.
Minecraft stage. Every guy has a Minecraft stage or something like that. That you just get deep into something
Like when I
and
first came
obsess
up with the
about it.
idea for this, dude, I went so hard on it, but then like
We talk about it a
then
lot. Yeah.
something else comes up, and it slowly goes away, and then you just kind of forget all about it. And I really, really don't want to do that this year. And that's why it's like it's not a resolution, but it's a main goal for me this year, is to finish those two things. And I feel like that alone, even though it sounds insignificant and small and everything like that, I feel like those two things would give me a real sense of like um, completion for the year, because it's something that I was excited for and really wanted to complete. And if I actually finish it, I will honestly feel like 2024 will be a positive year for me if I finish those two things, because it's just something that I wanted to do. It's a personal goal. I have all year to do it, so I don't really have an excuse for time. So like, but if I finish that, I feel like it'll be a more successful year personally myself.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
those
I
are the
don't
things that I'm
know.
looking forward to.
I don't know how you are about it, but I feel like my job ruins my productivity outside of work
It does.
because I just
I mean,
very rarely have a good day at work, and I come home just exhausted, pissed off, depressed, you name it, and I just like don't want to do anything. I don't know.
that's but that's the thing, is that honestly, wanting to do this type of thing should be the thing that I want to do, though,
It should be.
because of the fact that you're so mad and you get so annoyed at work and all that kind of stuff. You should want to come home to something that's going to, be something that you enjoy. But so often it doesn't. Like you said, like so often it gets you in such the mood that you don't want to do it, when it's really something you should be doing because it's something that you enjoy so much that could break you out of that depressing funk or whatever it is from the everyday work life. So that's why I really want to push myself to do it this year. Like I have to stick to something this year. I've gone too many years without like not actually sticking to at least getting one thing done that I've said that I'm going to. So those are my things. They're the things that I enjoy. So, and yes, I mean, I would love to start a campaign again. Not me personally doing it.
We'll discuss
that, because like but having Raptor start another one would be, I believe, a really fun.
We'll
fun
discuss
time this year.
but
as far as that,
yeah,
that's my for the upcoming year.
Good stuff. We all have good stuff.
Hopefully, we can all achieve it.
Positivity.
It would be nice. Yes, well, we need to end on positivity. I mean, there's so much negativity that goes on throughout the entire year. That I mean, even if one of us achieves something this year, I'll be happy, because because there is so much negative stuff that could happen this year, and has happened in past years, and it seems like every year the world gets a little bit worse as far as negativity is concerned. So even if one person finishes something on their list, it'll be positive. So let's hope that happens this year. I mean, we know that Raptor getting married is going to be a positive, so we're going to have at least one good thing happen this year.
It hasn't happened yet, so
hasn't happened yet, but I mean, as far as it looks, it's going to be good.
Well, don't try and plan it in like 2 to 3 weeks. That's all I'm saying. Don't ask me why I'm giving you that advice, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why you.
Yeah, why?
Well, by the time we get married, we'll have had a 14-month engagement, so we had a lot of time.
Even though, like, honestly, wedding-wise, like that can still be.
Oh, that was easily the most stressful part of my year last year.
Planning a wedding is so stressful, man. So stressful.
Especially because we had a plan in place, and then my parents got upset that they weren't going to be at our wedding because we were going to do a destination wedding, and certain things happened, and then we kind of agreed that was probably a better idea to do it locally here, so that family could be there for the wedding, and like we had to plan it in like 2-3 weeks, and it was brutal.
Well, I think that though planning the weddings like go good and okay for like all of the time up to about a month before the wedding, and then that's when sort of like shit starts to hit the fan, because like as soon as one thing goes wrong, it seems like it's a domino effect of things that go wrong, and then you're only like 1 month to the wedding, and then it's time to scramble and try to figure out what the heck to do about it. But I think it's easy for like all the way up until there's like 1 month left. I feel like it's easy. And then all of a sudden, if one thing goes wrong close to it, it's like it's a domino.
Yeah. Anyways, good year. Positivity. We're not ending on anything bad.
Year.
Yeah. Yeah. I love being happy.
Don't we all? All right.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining us. Talking about our predictions and just what our goals are for the new year. We will be back next week with another riveting topic and another episode with 3 big guys. Just do some important big stuff. So thanks for watching. We will see you next week.